up, everyone? Kaiju no Kami here with...
Unwilling girl kicking.
And...
Sister, Silver Quill.
I don't think that works as well.
No, it doesn't, but I could try.
We are here to talk about... Well, we're talking about...
We're all talking about the same thing.
We're here to talk about Donbrothers Episode 1. For us, this is the second time we're talking about Episode 1. And then we have a newcomer.
A newcomer. I'm a newcomer after Trigger and Vice and all these. I'm the newcomer.
For Donbrothers.
It's Episode 1. Everybody's a newcomer.
For our reviews, because this is technically Episode 2 of the reviews, re-reviewing Episode 1.
Well, that doesn't make me the newcomer. That makes you incompetent for having to do this twice.
No.
That's my water.
Hey, it might help his head grow.
No, it's the hair that needs to grow. We went over this. The hair that needs to grow, not the head. The head is already bulbous enough. Ask my mother.
Crushing up the eyes.
That's not what it looked like you were doing. But anyway, so Episode 1 of Donbrothers.
Dun, dun, dun,
Dun, dun.
It wasn't as bad the second time around. There are a lot of things I noticed this time compared to last time. Some of them better, some of them even worse.
Okay, for anyone who watched our first time around, one, I'm sorry because you got to see him all like freaking out, overstimulated, getting angry because he couldn't process everything. So I'm not going to talk much because I want you to actually talk and use your words. I want Silver Quill here.
Oh, my.
The newcomer, apparently.
How forward? Everyone's a newcomer in Episode 1. I'm just So, Mr. Stallone, what else did you know? Somehow you switched into the Swedish chef there.
I
know! So, yeah, that about sums it up. Thanks.
All right.
Thanks for watching. Bye.
Bye.
Okay.
This was a great video. I know I would have enjoyed watching this.
So, some things that I liked that I don't remember if I fully mentioned last time. I do like the focus on the Yellow Ranger.
You did mention that last time.
Because it's different than having the focus on the Red Ranger. For once. Especially in the premiere episode, which usually always focuses on the top dog.
Well, no, the dog's little. He's black.
Are you sure that's not a cat?
No, it's a dog.
I know it's a dog, but it looks like Morgana from Persona 5.
Well, either way, he's the top dog, but he's the little dog too.
So he's the underdog.
Underdog.
Did you ever watch Underdog?
Yeah.
I loved Underdog.
Okay.
I mean, considering that every evil plot was kidnap Sweet Polly. Yeah, I mean.
Like basically every old style Superman plot.
Well, I don't know.
Lois Lane gets kidnapped. She gets put onto the train tracks. Now she's attached to an electrical bolt. Now she's gonna be dropped off a building. Now she's hanging over a vat of acid. Now she's...
Well, I think I also like Snagglepuss wasn't a dog, was he?
Are you talking
No,
about...
he was a cat, a panther.
Okay.
Are you talking
Huckleberry Hound.
There we go, blue dog.
Yes.
Dun,
I
dun.
was trying to remember.
I thought you were talking about Muttley.
So...
Oh, I love Muttley too.
Actually, I was talking about Wacky Racers last night on an art stream.
Oh, really?
I always wanted Thundar the Barbarian and his crew to just run past all of them on Ride, Ariel, Ukla. So, yeah, we're talking about... This is not a good sign, actually. We're talking about anything but Donbrothers. This is what happened with Trigger.
Okay, so I did not realize, like you said with Kaito, that the Kaito, or it's probably God Kaito, is the owner of the bookstore, which looks just like Colorful.
Yes.
Yeah, on the outside.
No, it's the same building, just with all the...
well, it's the same building, but it looks like this very cultured cafe with a much greater attendance and, fine wooden placards and coffee and pretentiousness
Well,
up the wazoo.
They're also very colorful, the clientele.
Man, there are so many racial jokes that you are attempting here, man. I don't know what your game is, you don't. Underdog. But, yeah, I'm not used... I mean, the fact that when Yellow falls over and Kaito is still just calmly reading his book, I don't know if it's the god or if it's an alternate world Kaito. I have my theories about this world.
Okay.
They are actually in a virtual world.
That makes sense.
And these glasses, a bit like Free Guy, in fact, give you the ability to see the artificial and access hidden subroutines of the world. That's why she can stand on a springboard and be launched to the top of a building. That's why they can transform and teleport.
I never thought of the Free Guy aspect. I should have.
That's when you put them on, this overlay rises up, and the monster fight impacts the physical world, probably because it's attacking the source code.
Actually, it does make a lot of sense, because I do get a lot of SSSSSSSSS Gridman vibes from that whole aspect.
And the way people instantly transform. At first, I wondered, wow, they actually killed the guy. Granted, I'm jumping very far ahead. But I'm wondering if perhaps his mind is simply put in storage. That this simulation, for whatever reason, Mr. Blue Poet and his crew are apparently seeing if they can create a world without greed.
Possibly. Where he's kind of like, if we did use SSSS Gridman, then he would be like that one girl who was creating all the kaiju.
Exactly. And perhaps it's because of this artificial world that these CG characters that clearly drive kaiju to such rage.
Madness.
You can't see it, folks, but we have the screen frozen on the Pink Dawn. Arms raised in triumph, shoulders lowered in clipping.
Or we had that one scene where his shoulder pad was all the way over here.
It actually disconnected from his body for a frame.
Oh my god.
And of course we found that one frame. It's like his anger. Anger is an attractant. Make no mistake.
Well, that's the thing though, that on the negative side, so I know it's Kaito, now being the bookshop dude. So I do think he is God Kaito. But then I noticed even more of the heirs with the Pink Ranger's arms this time around. I'm like, oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Meanwhile, I'm looking up episodes of Captain Power and the Soldiers of the Future, which was really the first use of CG with live action. This doesn't seem so bad because they got to be a bit more colorful in this.
Well, so we actually watched briefly an episode of Reboot.
Yeah.
And that's from what, 90s?
Yeah.
94, I think.
So, yes, I know, totally different medium, but it's animated CGI. And watching that, I was like, wow, that doesn't hold up at all.
Well, be glad you weren't looking at the real adventures of Johnny Quest.
Oh, I remember that too.
The CG is even worse.
Oh, yeah.
Much worse, in fact.
But,
But,
even looking at this, the CGI is still better than Zenkaiger.
No. This CGI is the difference is though with both Reboot and Johnny Quest is Johnny Quest was cartoon animation and CGI. Reboot was 100% CGI. This is CGI poorly mixed into live action footage.
But it is an attempt to be novel. If I can give Donbrothers any credit, it's that they are doing their best to be distinct as a Super Sentai.
Yes.
The problem is, if you can't do the CGI right, don't do CGI at all.
Well, here's the question. Because we talk about this when it comes to anime all the time. Let's use Dragon Ball Super as an example.
Mm-hmm.
When we were watching Dragon Ball Super as it aired, and obviously as it aired is kind of like what we're doing here. We would procure it and we would watch.
Please don't sue.
But when we were watching it, some of the animation was bad.
Oh, especially in those early episodes.
Well, and we talked about the fact that things are rushed. Now, with that said, could we not kind of attribute, in a way, a similar aspect here? Because don't they have a crunch time?
Well, okay, the problem is that I'm having, though, is, again, if you can't do the CGI to look right. And, okay, also, looking here, where's his shadow?
Strolling down the avenue?
Because if you look, she's got a shadow behind her. He has no shadow in that scene.
No, see, he casts such a long shadow, it's actually stretching off screen.
Yes, that's what I was thinking.
Now, I'm actually going to...
But the direction would still be behind him. Because if you look, her direction is that way. That would still...
But with how it's positioned...
But we would still see somewhat of a shadow right there.
Okay, what were you going to say?
I'm actually going to disagree with Kaiju on if you can't do it perfect, don't do it at all. Everything needs that first step. Mm-hmm. And now, this is a step of making CG more common in Super Sentai. They may refine based on how this goes. Or they may abandon it.
I hope they abandon it.
Well, I also think this is the first episode. All of the screen... No, let me finish before you jump in. All of the previews we've seen, screenshots we've seen, everything like that, have primarily been from the first 2 episodes. Okay, maybe first 3, fine. But nevertheless, they could be working out the kinks. Just because it's not perfect right now, and they are making mistakes, I doubt we're the only ones in the world making comments.
Oh, no, we're not.
I highly...
We're not? That my ego won't allow for otherwise.
But I imagine even people in Japan who have watched this have made comments.
We can hope.
Well, in truth, I'm a little envious of Japan because this is very steeped in Japanese culture. Some Super Sentai, they work for a world peace organization. Okay, I get that. They are soldiers or rescue workers. That's all a bit universal. But here, Donbrothers is celebrating Japanese culture right down to the legend of Momotaro.
Yes.
Now, I honestly have to read up on that because I don't know the full legend. But I get what they're going for. And then the entrances, the celebrations, the designs. This is very much a Japanese culture show. I am an outsider looking in on this. And I wonder if that cultural context may enhance people's enjoyment over any technical concern.
Well, and I was thinking about that too, because this does make me think of Shinkenger. Shinkenger was another one of those series that was steeped, like the Kagemusha, that whole element. Until he mentioned it, I didn't know what that meant. I didn't know a lot of those things. And having people come from different families and swearing fealty, like you being selected from this family, and you are our representative and you are serving him, even if you as an individual are more learned or more powerful or anything like that, your abilities are still looked down upon in a way. And that's from an outsider. That's from that Western perspective, because the United States is so very different with that regard. And with the legend of Momotaro, okay, get over it. We're talking about other things now. But with this, I do kind of agree that if you have a love for this, and how many people also are going to pause a scene for us to stare at non-stop to reference an error?
Well, it's not just pausing the scene. It's just that I was showing you the... Mm-hmm. But yes, the story aspect could overwrite the technical failures. but the story's going to have to be on its A game the entire show. The story cannot drop a single moment if it wants you to be distracted from that.
Well, okay, I will say, answer correct. How many people? Based on our current poll, 1 out of 3 fans.
Okay, so getting back to the episode, we've got Yellow when she gets the glasses and notices everyone is, well, not everyone,
but some people are different.
They've been taken over. Now, I like the concept, if it's not a server world, like a computer server, I like the concept of a city that's already been conquered.
That may also be it.
And that they have to save the city from these alien invaders that have already conquered them and they don't know it.
Well, I'm still, right now I'm holding on to my virtual world idea.
No, I think both ideas have strong merits. I can see where the virtual world, especially thinking on like the aspect of SSSS Gridman. But I think also looking at it from a they live perspective as well, having them already have infiltrated is also a novel idea.
Or even Dark City.
Very true.
Dark City was another one where the aliens had already conquered the people.
Of course, again, we're veering off, talking about anything but the episode.
Well, no, so...
That's the danger zone.
Well, okay, so getting back to this, I see, so when we first watched this episode and when we first did our initial review, one of the things that you talked about that I disagree with you on, and I love your perspective, is when we get to the school where the gold medalist is, and you have the false people, I'm just going to use that as a simple term, they come in when Yappy turns into the monster. And they come in and start attacking the other people there.
Mm-hmm.
I guess the question I have for you, because this was a divisive thing that we had on our part at that time, do you think they were brought in because they sensed the greed, or do you think they were there just because of that?
I think they react to violent emotion. And they feed off whoever has the strongest violence in that scene. For a time, they followed and served the blue swordsman.
Yes.
Because he was the greatest killing instinct.
Okay, that makes sense then. Okay.
Then he left and the gold medalist was corrupted. So they switched allegiance to him. They don't seem to side with the Donbrothers because none of them are really fighting with the intent to kill.
Well, no, because essentially we have had 2 fatalities. I'm going with the fatality aspect because even if it's a virtual world, their character in the virtual world is dead, even if they're still alive elsewhere.
Right now, someone's teabagging them.
Okay, that'd be great. The blue poet is teabagging off screen. Dip, dip, potato chip. Dip, dip, potato chip.
But, so, I think I like that aspect, is that I didn't think about that with the violent emotion. But, what?
Oh, okay, what I was going to say is, one thing I actually thought of this time around. When Blue Dude shows up, and she's like, oh, you're here, and he kicks her down, his comment is, another one who's let their greed get away. Was he referring to Yappy, or was he referring to her?
I thought he was referring to her because he says you directly.
Because I thought, well, when we watched it on Monday, I thought he was referring to Yappy, but watching this time, I'm like, well, wait a minute. It seems like he's actually talking to her after he kicked her down, basically saying, get out of my way because you let your greed get the best of you.
Although, I'll say this. Her greed is on display because she thinks she can get back her fame.
Mm-hmm.
She should really just make a new fame based on her power slide abilities. Because when she bows, it is not just a bow, it is a sliding.
So we were talking about that the last time because I was amazed.
What do they do? Butter her shins?
Well, why do you think they have D-pads for their boots?
Well, I'm just saying she is power sliding better than Black Widow, and that's no small feat. It's more several yards.
But I was amazed both times when she slid. Now
the reason why I further believe in a virtual world is that first off, this comic that is nearly identical is an information change. Someone decided to give her some bad luck. It's almost like a test. Then she's transported to what clearly looks like a digital prison, or at least is stylized after circuit boards, where the father of Momotaro, Tori?
Toro.
Well,
Taro.
well, no, that's the classic, but they had a different pronunciation for the name in this show.
Momoi
his name
Taro.
is the Red Ranger's name is Momoi Taro.
Okay, there we go. See, but that's why I think he is like in this server or central area. That's why he's locked in.
Are you talking about the father?
The father.
Okay.
I'm wondering if Momo, who is able to influence people as he did with this lawyer, hopeful lawyer, if he can't rewrite the code a little, and he himself is a program.
Oh my God! Now I'm thinking of Neo.
See, I'm maybe spinning a totally different story than what we're gonna get, but damn, I'm good at it.
Because all I'm thinking is, oh my God, it's like Neo with the white rabbit.
Except that this top Momo,
This might be good.
Momori, he can express emotion. If he goes, whoa, I'm going to turn off the computer.
He's just going to do the bad Titus laugh. Ha ha ha! Ha ha ha!
I too flash back to that laugh because it's quite terrifying. But also, the dude makes an entrance.
He does. I actually, so even though the bike is CGI to hell, just having
I
this
do like his
fan...
entrance.
Okay, I know we keep on veering off, and maybe that's what the nature of our episodes will always be about when it comes to things that we're not sure about outside of advice. But all I thought of was Aladdin.
Make way, it's Prince Ali.
And I'm just like, all I thought was Aladdin because everybody's dancing around.
Well, except for those, I felt a little bad for those guys who find the bike isn't there. Mm-hmm. That's still a heavy-looking platform.
Yes.
And, now assume the bike is there. I'm assuming those guys are support programs, that they're not real people that are just on standby to carry him into battle.
I don't know. Shakinger had the all these dudes on standby for their stuff.
Well,
if you think about hurricanes, you had to have somebody on standby to bring the stuff in.
Well, those were the robots, remember?
Sure.
Oh, yeah.
Because you had the robots that went around erasing people's minds, memories, so they don't remember giant mech battles and stuff.
Well, either way, I'm going ahead with that theory. We could pause on the expressions of those guys as they're as he's saying it's a festival, because I could swear the guy in the left front, from the perspective of the carrying group, left front, he looked pissed.
I know! I thought the same thing! Those guys did not look happy that this is the role that they got in their life.
I mean, it's like...
That they probably went to acting school, have like thousands of yen, hundreds of thousands of yen in debt. They're probably arguing with their families about, this is what I want to do. I want to be an actor. And they're in like a loincloth holding up a platform. And this is what Mom sent me to school for.
I went to Vancouver to study.
And I know 3 languages and I'm holding a platform.
Well, this kid talks about it's a festival.
I did still like the scene when she bounced on the spring that shot her all the way up to the building, and then when she ends up transforming as they hit her in the arm, she's like, "Oh, wait, doesn't hurt."
Followed by, we get kind of similar humor. The avatar change is a weird dynamic because one, Zen Kaiser, secret power never really came to anything. To fire a gun does not require a shift change, but I like that Pink is like, oh, he's gonna hit me too. Oh, he didn't.
Yeah, so the powers in this is going to be basically Zen Kaiju and Go Kaiju combined.
But it's the 46th. I'm not aware of 46 being a huge celebration, other than, you're getting up there, almost to 50. Are we going to have 5 seasons of Power Copy Rangers?
We've been doing it with Ultraman, so...
Okay.
Hi.
I just have to say one thing. If this is how they celebrate 46, I will murder you if you decide to have fun and do something strange ass like this for my 27th plus many years.
Wait, no,
27
I'm getting ideas. We just get a bunch of guys, really angry looking older men, to come in here and lift up your sofa and parade you around. Whoa, it's a festival! Woohoo! We have a bond! But, financial bonds. I took out a loan for these guys.
But, so I do like the fight on the rooftop, especially the camera work. That's one thing I forgot to mention when we reviewed it the other day. I love the camera work they have going on when Yellow's fighting those grunts on the rooftop.
No, I just noticed my sock is backwards.
Okay, well, we don't care. Sure. But, yeah, the camera work when we've got them, like, going underneath the battle and everything is really well done. And that's another thing that's you won't be able to do that with the CGI Rangers because it's going to be too fast motions. That's why I don't think we have that camera work for this battle scene at the end. It's just a standard shot, other angle, this angle close up. And that's going to cause another problem is that they're going to be limited on what they can do with the fight scenes.
Well, we shall see. I mean, what was it? Before Zenkaiger, it was...
Killer Major.
And Killer Major had some really good...
Oh, Killer Major was awesome.
In its cinematography.
I mean, that...
story left a little to be desired.
That episode, when you had the yellow and red fighting the grunts and the mech battle going on in the background, and the sword crashing into the ground, and they all actually react to the sword crashing, that was incredible. In fact, actually... the director of Ultraman Z did those 2 episodes.
But, well, just think.
No, hold still.
We got to enjoy, my God, ping pong. That's the saving grace of Sentai.
Oh my God, what's that movie that was about ping pong?
Oh, Balls of Fury? No.
Yeah, Balls of Fury.
But consider that there was the tennis episode of Zenkaiger where the Emperor and his Ngiji bounced the tank guy back and forth. That was funny. I did not know Japan took ping pong this seriously. And I know that's not what they call it, like table tennis. Table tennis. I call it ping pong. I don't mean to be insensitive, but
that's what we call it here.
That's how it's been since.
That's what drunk people play.
So, well, that's beer pong.
Yeah.
But by God, these people are hardcore. I did not know they took this sport that seriously. That you have an entire gym of people practicing on this, and one guy,
a gold medalist,
that you can get a gold medal in ping pong.
Okay, let me just say, there is a sport called curling.
Yeah, they're just cleaning.
Well, okay, all different forms. Canada has its own passion.
For sweeping?
Why do you think they're such a clean country?
Hey, you know what? I bet a gold medalist for curling could win by going through your place.
No, I want Momotori to come to my place and clean it for me. Because he did it... Well, again, he rewrote the source code or something. Because he did that super fast.
Well, there was a vacuum cleaner.
Yeah, he sucked up the source code. They're all little bits scattered about.
Okay. But I want to hire him as a maid to clean.
Yeah, he'll be done in 2 minutes.
Okay, now I should provide context.
No, I meant for my home too.
Well, no, we're talking about Ultraman Gaia. Because you guys showed me the main hero's room, which was a mess. But he knew where everything was except his communicator. I understand that because that's in constant movement.
Because you're trying to figure out where your tablet is.
Yes.
Well, so
I only lost it when
I
we
couldn't.
cleaned.
Obviously, had to cut that scene short because of copyright. But he actually says to the girl, "Well, there's an order to this chaos. I know where everything is."
Yes, I saw that line. So I encounter my Ultraman spirit animal with the protagonist of Gaia. Now I find the cure for my problem with Donbrothers. So can I hire these fictional characters, one to encourage me that it's okay to be a little messy, and one to clean up said mess?
There you go. Hire Taro to clean up Gamu's room.
Gamu.
His quarters.
Hey, that sounds like a sitcom. It's Taru and Gamu. Ding! But, let's see here. So, power sliding transformations are interesting.
What did you think? Okay, so of the 3 suits we've seen so far, yellow is my favorite. I like the horns. I like what looks like Mario spinies on her shoulders.
I like Pink's mask.
Mm-hmm.
The way the visor resembles wings and aligning perfectly with the edges of the visor is a beak-like mouthplate. So, I mean, granted, my character is bird-themed, so this could give Toku Twitter a little design oomph. Oomph, I say! Oomfa, oomfa, oompa, pa, pa.
Now, I did like the opening theme much better this time around.
I told you, it's a great opening theme.
I don't know if I'm doing this right, probably not. My apologies to the whole of Japan.
Well, you did plan on, offending a country during my first surgery.
Yes, that was Canada. I went ahead with that. You see, I couldn't pronounce a French name. So I had, the Canadian flag behind my character, and I made a public apology, saying, "Please don't destroy America, for that is where I keep all my socks."
What French name did you not say?
Sylvain Nicolas Levasseur Portelance, who sadly is no longer with us. He had a degenerative disease, but put forth a tremendous effort with the time he had. So, blessings on him. And I just made things real serious. So super serious. So I offended Canada.
And now you're offending Japan.
Now, I would have. There are other countries I have to offend in current politics, but you know what? They're embarrassing themselves just fine.
Yes.
Yeah, we're not rushing around anyway.
All right. On that note.
Well, not on that note.
Let's see here. Blue Swords guy. We didn't really talk about. Come on, Kelly. Corelka. Were you swooning?
Yes.
Were you swooning?
Oh yeah, she was.
Very much.
Now you see those. Whatever they do with his eye contacts, those are just a little. Just a little freaky.
Was so pretty. Yes.
See, there was the other thing when we were talking about the manga being the plagiarism. My theory is because she saw that the world's been taken over, they recreated her manga scenes as an executive thing going, here, you're going to tell her that she plagiarized this. And that they actually plagiarized her work to tell her she plagiarized.
Quite possible. Though this brings to mind, I forget the name, but there was an artist on DeviantArt, made a professional comic, but very quickly he duplicated poses and expressions from Bleach. And people really laid into him for this clear duplication.
Well, I kind of felt bad for the whole duplication thing. Mainly because all of her friends, nobody was like, wow, are you sure? This seems really sudden.
Okay. Oh, they're all fair weather friends.
Oh, I know.
Well, that was part of it. It's like, okay, so I understood now. The contest, when we first watched it, I thought the contest was she was winning this award and because of the award, she was getting a manga published. Now, as I understood it, she's already an established manga author, and she was winning an award because of how popular her manga series is.
Yes, because in Japan, from what I've learned, is you can release manga in different ways. You can do it in those monthly comics that they have, like Shonen Jump or anything like that. Or you can actually do it online, like a self-published type of thing.
Which is how One Punch Man got its start. But gosh, what was it? Oh yes, her boyfriend.
Mama.
Well, funny enough, I did a presentation recently on the archetypal Great Mother, the Queen. And this is why guys like that are meant to piss you off. The idea is that the characteristic mother, this caring, nurturing life provider, is also a sort of gravitational force on the will. If a will is weak, it gets pulled in back towards a reliance on the mother figure. The image, say, of in Vietnam, there were guys who cried out for their mothers as they were dying in a hospital bed. Because, well, they were so injured, the will was lacking, they regressed. Then, with this kid, it's clear that he has not developed a strong will or a sense of self. He's not gotten away from the characteristic mother, and therefore he's dominated by her.
Well, I guess here's the question, because... sorry.
Basically, his will is lacking, and that's why we are offended by that cowardice.
Well, here's a question, because I have for you on that note. When you look at that type of mother, is she genuinely caring, or is she like a domineering? Because when I've ever met men throughout the years who have that reliance, so to speak, or that lack of will, as you're putting it, the mother is like very aggressive and very vocal, and I wouldn't attribute them to being necessarily caring, but more controlling.
Well, that's where the characteristic mother may split off. You have the transformative mother, who will try to invoke change in their child to get them to grow, to explore the great world. And the consuming mother, who will retard their growth in order to keep them within her will.
Okay.
They're dependent. An odd example, but a very literal example of the consuming mother, was a Pixar short of a dumpling-headed boy.
Oh, that one, yes.
The mother was not willing to let him go, and so she literally consumed him. Oops, spoilers. But that's not the whole story. The book I was reading, The Great Mother, the witch in Hansel and Gretel, she provides food and shelter and all the necessities of life, but she is also the literal consuming mother.
No, that makes sense. I was very curious because I've never, and maybe this is just the lack of experience I've had as a human being, but I've never met a transformative mother where the son, so to speak, had a weak will.
No, well, in many ways I think they're mutually exclusive. A transformative mother won't have weak-willed children. She's built them up.
Okay.
Yeah, but a weak-willed child will go running back to mommy the minute things aren't working the way they want.
No, I could certainly see that. And I can certainly appreciate the aspect of, I think for anyone, even at my age, if things are going to hell, I want to talk to my mom.
Well, there's a difference between wanting to talk to a loved one. Oh, come on, this is important.
No, I think this makes sense for the story. No, I'm not saying it's not important to talk to a loved one. I'm just saying there's that value one places in their mother.
As a confidant or advisor, but you're not looking for your mom to solve that for you or to make it go away. You just need to talk to someone, and there's that level of trust.
Well, that's what I mean.
So that's not a consuming mother. That's, well, I believe a transformative.
Oh, yeah, no, I understand that. It's fascinating when you were, like, thinking about the men in Vietnam, or we could even look at men in other wars or
In
women.
tights.
Yes, we roam around the forest looking for fights. Boom, we're men
Ooh, you're sexy.
who
Your hair's
need
all
a
messed
comb. Those fronds are all over of that shining dome.
But
We may. Oh,
the boyfriend Hanamura,
yeah, he's weak.
oh my god.
He's
When he
weak.
first said my mom doesn't want me dating a plagiarist,
Mommy.
A thief.
a thief, I'm like, oh my god. I dated a guy like you once and I nearly killed him.
Also, I will say in the wake of Revice, where Tamaki got a huge red, not black eye, seeing the ping pong impact as red, was like, oh, okay, that's more a thing than I gave it credit.
Yes, it is.
But, well, the difference is I didn't think like Tamaki deserved it.
No, but he did.
Look, anytime you see a weak-willed guy getting some comeuppance. Now, the dude who hammered nails into the ping pong, that's part one, like, wow, they take this sport seriously. I mean, if anything,
Nailed it.
hey! He had the drive. But did you notice that none of the nail had stuck through the other side? He has precise control.
Precise rage.
I mean, his rage is focused to a point, not penetrating the other surface.
Well, as I mentioned the last time, because The Walking Dead had that main, not Nero, what was his name?
The governor?
No, the guy who had the baseball bat that had
Negan?
Negan. So Negan, he had a baseball bat that he put nails in.
Oh.
And so all I thought of was Negan from Walking Dead.
Oh, if we're talking about nails and weapons, I was thinking a little slugger.
Oh, from Paranoia Agent. Yes, I didn't think about that.
But,
I love Little Slugger.
now, were there any other characters? I mean, one, Blue Swords guy owes someone a van.
Yeah.
And a new taxi driver.
And, well, yeah, the taxi driver. Well, the taxi driver was fatality number one. Although he seemed just a little too eager, looking at Yellow. It was like, okay, what's going through this guy's head?
I know. I
don't
was like, what level of greed is he looking at? Because
I need an adult. I am an adult. But I don't know if there's much more about Donbrothers I can say without seeing the second episode.
Well,
Yes.
okay, what did you think of the CGI mech battle?
It wasn't as innovative for me because I had seen the form already during Zenkaiger. But I did like the interactive world. I did like the personality they infused as it did that dance. I thought Red was full of it when he said, let's fight fair and square with swords. Because he had a sword and shield. The other guy had an axe, so, so he's full of it when he says this is a fair fight, or, oh, you cheated. That just makes it more fun. Dude, you cheated. You had a shield.
I will say that I think the CGI for that didn't stick out to me as much because of the virtual world they basically had as the background.
Yes.
They weren't recreating a real lot, what's meant to be an actual city.
And that, which was the trouble we had with Zenkaiger and the mech battles that were CG.
It's because they were fighting in a real city.
They were fake. This was in a fake city. There were times where I could have mistaken it for a suit actor. Like,
oh yeah, there were a couple times I'm like, did they have an actual suit actor like in a suit as like a model?
No, they apparently said they're not going to have an actual mech suit until the second quarter when all the Rangers get their mecha.
oh, so we're going with the Die Ranger approach,
Supposedly.
which is for those who don't know, early Die Ranger, the Red Dragon, which was the Red Dragon Thunderzord in America. That was the main mech for a while.
For a couple episodes, yeah.
Which I always found it kind of funny. Why did the Red Ranger like, hey, wait, you want to step in my ride? You got to pay fare. Come on, I just got this thing detailed. Oh, and that. There we go. Red Dawn, or whatever they call him in this.
Ryuseo.
No.
Oh, you mean in here?
In Donbrothers, he'd be like, hey, if we're going to battle again, I need to pay for these guys carrying my bike into battle and these dancers and the flowers. You know, those flower petals don't come cheap. Actually, that's why Blue Swords guy will hate him. He's scattering flowers everywhere. And the Blue Sword dude is all like, oh, flowers should either be scattered in serenity or go unseen. Why are you making a show of this? I hate you. Well, that's the Rothwood right there. It's just the flowers. It is petal and the metal.
Oh my god.
I just made an episode title right there. Come on.
I'm going to grab cake.
Oh.
I'm going to be like Maria
Alright.
today.
Yes, so click likes. Well, I guess, did any of you guys watch this episode a second time? If so, what did you think of it? Did you just watch it? Let us know. Click like, subscribe, bell notification, and anything else YouTube is like, you need to click on this to actually support the channel. You can support us.
I know it's coming. I remember.
Kaiju no Kami on Twitter, Instagram, Discord, Facebook, Patreon. And the store is at creativitybydesignllc.com. And you guys should buy some cool stuff, right? And you've got
Silver Quill, MLP Silver Quill, on Twitter, DeviantArt, and YouTube. Do a search and ye shall find me.
Someday he won't take apart my couch when we're doing a review.
Someday you won't be screaming at me to buy stuff.
I didn't scream at you to buy stuff!
He did.
Alright, with that
He's in
said,
the middle!
Are you suffering middle child syndrome? I mean, that would make Cruelica the older sibling.
Older!
And I'm the innocent.
Older sibling! I would be the younger sibling!
And
You bastard!
alright, whatever you say, Grandpa.
Ah!
Oh, good throw.
Hey, Grands, chill out. Until next time, yo.